Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Starladder Season 11. We've got some more games in Europe today. Actually, just one game. The funky schedule continues here, so we've got a quick one, then we have a really long break today, and I think there's one, maybe two America games coming up this afternoon. So we'll go ahead and get right into it here, as long as I can handle all of the overlays by my lonesome. I had Merlini to hold my hand yesterday, and that's not the right screen. Okay. Oh, off to a lovely start this morning. All right, we got our sides right at least. Draft partway underway, but let's just go ahead and look at what these teams are cooking up. UroPB, the team I have not cast yet. Some names that we do recognize, at least. Arzeek, Seam of the Slayer. Some of those boys we've seen around past seasons of Starladder. They went ahead and first picked the Brewmaster here in their best of one today. Skywrath Doom, the opener for NiP, the Ninjas in Pajamas. And it took them a while, but they did decide on a Vengeful Spirit to pair with their Brewmaster. Now the rest of the draft starting to come to light here. Ooh, our Radiant side chooses not to ban out the Faceless Void. Hands it right over to NiP. And now they've got that scary combo, Faceless Void and the Skywrath Mage. We've seen it, we know it, we love it. And we know what kind of power it can bring out onto the field. The second pick, Doom. Pretty solid against the Brewmaster, Skywrath Doom. Pretty good opener against Brew in general. Two great silences that kind of shut him down a bit. Can stop him from ulting. Pretty good. If you want to hand over the Brew in the first pick, not ban it out initially, you do need to be prepared with that Skywrath. The most worst case scenario, I think, is when you hand over the Brewmaster and you have no silences of your own to pick it up and make it happen. So moving right down along the lines here, we've got Elder Titan, a nice third pick for UroPB. Elder Titan's so strong, so good in general. We'll probably see him in the off lane, most likely. Could be the 4, you never know. We've seen that. Certainly a time or two as well. Viper, pick number 4 for NiP. Well, just a good lane dominator. Pretty good against Brew in the mid lane. And some decent synergy with the Faceless Void. But here you go, the Phantom Assassin. Now we see why that Elder Titan was picked up. Elder Titan plus your Vengeful Spirit for all that minus armor. You got your Natty Order. You got your Wave of Terror. Oh, boy, is it scary. That PA match. He's going to be slashing them down, getting those big crits and hitting pretty damn hard. Space Cow. Interesting. The final ban from NiP. Don't see those 5th pick Spirit Breakers all too often. I guess it could have worked here. Position 4, SB. Yeah, they don't really have too many stuns, so he could have charged just straight on over. Like heroes like Rubik, really good against Spirit Breaker. You can just pick him up when he's running to you and drop him back down, and that stops old Spirit Breaker dead in his tracks. But they'll ban him out anyway. Enigma, the final ban for our Radiant side here. Let's check the bets. What do the fans think? I hope UroPB is the right way to say this. I'm not sure if I'm saying it quite properly. Ooh, Sand King. A great support to pair with the Faceless Void and the Skywrath for that matter. Burrow Strike, great setup for Mystic Flares. Obviously, the ultimate Epicenter does a lot of dirty work inside of the Chronosphere when Faceless Void sets it up for him. So, good all-around pick. You've got your great lane dominator there in the Skywrath Mage. He'll be sitting bottom just poking the enemies so they can't get up to the creeps. And meanwhile, Sand King, he'll just be sitting in the jungle, doing his own thing, having a little dance party, doing what Sand Kings do best. And UroPB, they're ahead in the votes by a pretty good margin here, 61 to 39%. Well, the fans have spoken, and they're feeling pretty good about this Radiant team. I'll be honest, I think the Dyer's draft so far looking a little more potent, and, well, there you have it. The Troll Warlord, final choice for UroPB. And I'll be honest, the only team that I have seen running Troll Warlord on the reg recently is Leviathan, the Shredder Troll Warlord. It's become reputable, something that I've come to love and enjoy, but I am not seeing too many other people running the Troll. Good for a couple reasons, though. The nature of his ultimate is just very interesting, and if you can take these little quick skirmishes, whether it's flash pushing a tower, moving into Roche and sneaking around, or just picking somebody off real quick, you can build around that, and they kind of have. They've got Vengeful Spirit and Brewmaster who can kind of set things up, the Blink Dagger on the Brew, the Swap Stun on the Venge. Then you've got this Elder Titan who's there with the Natty Order, maybe setting things up with your Echo Stomp, squishing them up a little bit and making it easier for your PA. And then, hey, you've got PA who's ready just to run in there and get some big coup de grace and make it rain blood. Slayer's coming, and apparently reincarnated in the force of PA. So they'll have this troll who's going to give the battle trance to PA. Attack speed great on the Phantom Assassin. You're getting more coups. The Graz coming. I really like this. And now that we see this final pick, the Radiant roster, well, looking pretty damn good. Now the only thing they'll have to worry about is that string of first picks. Brew, I think, worth the first pick, but if you want to grab the Brew, you need to consider banning out the Skywrath in particular. Doom's good against Brew. If you start off a fight, Doom can blink in, hit him with a Doom, and then Brewmaster can't do anything. He's just running around, trying not to die and live the team fight. And that's one thing. That shuts him down, but it also, that's Doom's big trick, right? He's still doing some damage in the fights, but he'll totally lock down Brew. Skywrath has this spammable silence where you can just sit back from afar every 14 seconds. Brewmaster hops in, you hit him with a silence. A good Skywrath will really give a good Brew a serious run for his money here. Let's introduce some rosters, see where everybody's laning it up. Safe lane for the Radiant. UroPB looks like it'll be the Brewmaster farming out by his lonesome in the mid. It'll be no one. That'll be the Phantom Assassin there, and then it will be an aggro try, it would seem. Arzeek on the Elder Titan here. Seem the Slayer on the Vengeful Spirit, and that puts, well, Emote Man, the Troll Warlord. He's going to be in the off lane. Maybe they'll roam around. Not sure exactly how these lanes will settle for the Radiant side. Oh, God, we got to pause. But kind of an awkward tri-lane here. I don't know who's going to be farming. It looks like a farming Troll and a position 4 Elder Titan. What a clunky tri-lane this is. 1 stun, 1 melee, and, well, kind of a half melee. I'm not so sure how well this tri-lane is going to work out. Let's see what they're up against. Dire side, we got NiP. We got Art Style headed to the off lane. He's on the Doom. He'll go boots first. Plenty of regen there. Should have a fine time against the Brewmaster. Mid lane, we've got Immune. He'll be playing on the Viper. I think they're thinking it'll be a Viper versus Brew mid matchup, which Viper should win pretty well. But now it's Viper versus PA, and I think this is even better for the Viper. Sure, Blur makes harassing a little more difficult, but we'll see how it goes. Stifling Dagger is a really good farming tool. Very spammable. PA should be able to farm decently against the Viper. Per usual, Viper should win the lane, but by how much is really the question here. It looks like it will be a safe lane try, sort of. Vlad will take the Skywrath. Dubas will take the Sand King. And Moon. Here, I think this is Moonlight, not Moon Meanda. He'll be here on the Faceless Void. Farming away in the safe lane. A little bit of regen. Has himself a stout shield, so he's feeling pretty safe. Oh, looks like someone's having an issue. Oh, man. If only I could read Cyrillic. I didn't study enough when I was over there in Kiev for Starladder. So I say sort of a safe lane try because it won't really be a try lane, I don't think. Dubas, he'll be lingering over in the lane. He'll be stacking. He'll be pulling and needs to find that level 2. Obviously can't get into the jungle and do his Sandstorm until he finds level 2. But Sand King, not really your great try lane hero here, and he will spend a lot of time in the jungle. So it's like UroPB going to try to capitalize on that with their aggro try. Put some pressure on the Void and just use their power and numbers while Sand King's farming away. But as I said, I'm not so confident in this tri-lane. Troll, Elder, Titan together. They're tanky-ish, but I think they just lack a lot of damage early on. You know, you think of typical scary tri-lanes built around an Ancient Apparition or built around, you know, a Visage, somebody that can really bring the hurt in these tri-lanes. None of these heroes really stand out as particularly strong. We'll see what Elder Titan levels up first. Probably the Spirit. In context of these kind of scenarios, Elder Titan did get a minor buff in the last big patch. Natural Order is now better at the initial levels. Still does the same at the top end when you hit level 4, but it's a little better for those value points early on, like level 2, that first point in Natural Order, 40% instead I think it used to be 20%. So from that perspective, I guess you could say Elder Titan's a little better in tri-lanes. We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here, trying to figure out how this is going to work out. It could also just be an off-lane Elder Titan, and then these two are going to move around, but nope, Troll's the core, so I think it has to be a 4 ET here. I guess he's just going to path block, and that's the other issue. Elder Titan, not really known for his roaming abilities as a support, which makes things a little more difficult. I guess he'll be able to farm the jungle okay. That's not too bad. Maybe he'll grab an early point in Echo Stomp. I'm curious how UroPB picture this laning phase going with these three cores they've got here and this kind of fourth core. Maybe they're gonna play like a 1-2-3-3-6 or something. Like put Venge way out on the 6, get a little farm priority going on the Elder Titan. That could happen. Maybe. Alright, looks like PA's reconnected. Hopefully we can get this game rolling. Players getting antsy. You can see him drawing on the mini-map here. I'm going to draw... oh, I can't draw because I'm just a lowly spectator. Oh, there we go. Smiley. There we go. Hey. Alright, so here we are, guys. Our one and only game of the day for Starladder Season 11 Europe. It is Day 4. UroPB versus the Ninjas in Pajamas. We've introduced them, and now let's see how they square off. As I mentioned, the art style here versus the Brewmaster should be pretty even. Lots of melees going on. We'll see what art style is able to devour early on. Just takes a creep to start. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it will be the Troll picking up the last hits, at least out of the gate. Vlad harassing him pretty hard here, and our Zeke will just be on the 4. So ward does come down to block the pull camp here. Sand King will get the first pull. Obviously not stacked, just a singleton of Harpies. And not going to be able to pull past that. There will be this hard camp here that he'll be able to play around with. But the Dire Jungle's a little funky. And oh, look at this. Vengeful Spirit finds an Illusion Rune. Blocks the hard camp to the east side of the Dire Jungle. Very smart play there. And anytime you're against a jungler who's going to be dedicated, getting an Illusion Rune first is amazing. It's not always that an Illusion Rune is, oh, yes, I got illusions, especially at the 0-0 mark. But this is a scenario where you can be pretty happy with that. That's just a camp that Sand King's not going to get. But they're going to keep his presence here in the top lane anyhow. So probably wouldn't have stacked this. Well, definitely wouldn't have stacked it on the 1. Didn't even venture over there. Might not end up holding him back regardless. Still, not so bad for UroPB to get this started. So part of the problem with Sand King in the Dire Jungle is he doesn't have that many options. You either have to stack these two camps here and run the risk of getting those stinky mud golems. Oh man, nobody likes that. And then your other options are stack the hard camp here, which is great. You can farm it pretty easily, but then you're pretty far away from the lane in case something happens. Your other option, just try to work here. But this is the other issue. Now you've got your opponents in lane contesting your farm and at the very least leeching your experience. And for Sand King, finding that level 2, very important. He will get it in a pretty timely manner. But as you can see here, Radiant team have no problem contesting this pull, and even without creeps, they're just going to go ahead and say, thanks to this double stack, man, let's get some last hits on our carries here. And ooh, up top, some Whirling Axes fly out. Looks like they do connect onto the Skywrath Mage. Ooh, the Hadouken squishing up our Zeke a little bit, but they do find the kill onto the big bad Centaur there. As Dubas struggling to find farm in these early levels. Already 3 minutes in, and they're doing a good job keeping the Sand King busy, shutting him down, and also finding good farm on the Troll. He is keeping up with the Void, actually out farming him by just a couple here. Troll, I think he's a pretty good hero right now. I think a little underutilized in general. It kind of depends on your play style. I was talking to Merlini about it yesterday. He was talking about the Blink Dagger being quite strong on Troll. If you one of those heroes that you need to be a bully, need to be aggressive, rely on those Whirling Axes, the blind to try and make your life a little easier. We'll see Moon get initiated on here, but Dubas coming around the backside, stuns the Troll Warlord. Echo Stomp comes out, but it doesn't matter. Troll falls. First Blood will come out for NiP. Sand King gets the bonus gold there. And we were just talking about this Sand King being off to a slow start, but now talk about recovery. The Scorpion pops his one and only Clarity, and now goes right for the Tranquils. So that will slow down the Blink Dagger a bit more. You'll see a lot of Sand Kings just grab a Clarity or 2 and go Brown Boots right into the Blink Dagger if they get a start like this with the First Blood or some really easy stacks with somebody else helping them out in the jungle. But will go for a little more of a roaming Sand King, wants some sustainability, and wants to be able to cruise around the map a little bit more quickly. So it looks like this Sand King, by this count, probably won't be stacking that much. I think what seems more likely is Vlad will do some stacking in the jungle. Sand King will move around and help the lane, try to gank, and wow, this ward does not block. Holy Toledo, I'm a little surprised. I doubt that was intentional. Put a ward here and not block the camp. Maybe they just wanted the vision, so they didn't block it because, hey, if you block it, you know there's a ward there, and then more likely they'll counter it. If you put it off to the side like this, well, you get the vision, you see what's going on, you know when Sand King's pulling, even though he might actually find a little bit of farm. And then RZ can come over, and he'll just snipe a couple of these last hits. Dubas almost goes down. Just one staple from death, but he does have a burrow strike here. Arzeek, I don't think he'll be able to close this gap unless Dubas makes some kind of misplay. No, he plays successful bait. Vlad comes around, and he picks up a kill here. That'll make it 2-0. Just shy of the 5-minute mark. And this time it will be the Skywrath that gets credit for the kill. Both supports on the Dire now, getting some decent experience out of that. And will both find their level 3s. So good news off that for both sides. Or, pardon me, for both supports of NiP. Down bottom, we'll see a Doom onto the Brewmaster. Art style hits level 6. And just a casual Doom, you know, just a zone and Doom. Uh-oh, now back towards the top lane, though. It's Vlad taking a lot of damage. Whirling Axes fly through. Dubas TP's up. Time walk on a couple. Stun on 2 from the Sand King. Burrow strike making it happen as Seema the Slayer stands his ground. They get the kill on Moon first before losing the Venge. It's a 1-for-1. And will it stay that way? Vlad getting pretty low, but will be able to live as the Elder Titan Spirit hunting him down. Hits him with an Echo Stomp, but there's just no way to get into the tower range safely. Troll Warlord takes a concussive as he thinks about diving it, going for the phase boots. And that's where it will end. It's a 1-for-1 in the top lane. Very even exchange. I guess you could say good news for the Radiant as they are a little bit behind here. Very minor lead for NiP. Out of the gate, about 500 gold and experience. Checking in on the other lanes, though. Doom, how's he farming? 20 last hits compared to the 31 of the Brew. So, Brewmaster having a pretty good time down here. Going for phase boots. Okay, very interesting. You don't see phase boots on Brew all that often. But gives you a lot of last hitting power in lane, and he does have a lot of last hits, so it looks like the extra damage has gone a pretty long way in the lane. Gives him a little bit of extra damage on the crits as well. He will run into some mana issues, though, and I guess against Doom, where you both kind of have mana issues, and it's more just a man fight, who can get the last hits, that little bit of damage goes maybe a little bit further than going for the sustainability, where in mid lane, when you can Crow, you'll see Bruise just spamming that Thunderclap all day, but here we go, right on the Doom. Oh, he actually has a Doom here, but they'll burn a Primal Split for this. Makes it an easy kill, and that makes it 2-3 as Art Style takes a tumble down bottom. Radiant supports rotate across the map, and the Brewmaster makes it happen with a simple boulder to the face. That's right, hurling boulders all day long. Mid lane we have not checked in on, and it's PA coming out hot. And speak of the devil, it's PA coming out dead, as now a Dire rotation with supports. Vlad on the Skywrath just casually walks into the mid lane, hits him with some spells and immune, drops the Viper Strike. Easy as that. Viper was getting out farmed a little bit by the PA, maybe 3-4 last hits, and now immune will be able to close the gap. And Viper's farm looking pretty good. He does get credit for that kill. So Brown Boots a kill a stick, and okay, there you go. Picks up the treads and now just moves right towards the Vlads. Picks up the headdress straight away. And pretty well-timed mech should be coming out for the Viper. Full lane rotation, though, from UroPB. It will be the Brewmaster now to head off lane. He's sitting level 7 with those phase boots. And down in the safe lane, the Troll and Seema the Slayer on the Venge will set up shop and pressure this Doom a bit in lane. He's already picked up an Alpha Wolf, so has the critical strike. The pack leader's aura going for some drums to beef up a little bit. And still very low on armor, so you see that Wave of Terror taking him damn low. Seema the Slayer is putting a couple of points in it. 2 for now. No points in the Vengeance Aura. But that minus armor really going to hurt Doom and allow this Troll to do a lot of damage if they end up moving into some sort of a man fight, or a troll fight, as they say. Let's hit the graph, though, with these follow-up kills. NiP still coming out strong, and it's not even just a matter of hero kills, but just finding some slightly better farm around the map. As I say, that Art Style initiated on Magic Missile. They take away his armor. It baits in a big TP reaction. Art Style lives. Now can they find a counter kill off of it is the real question. We'll see the Troll Warlord doomed in big trouble. He falls as Viper gets the last auto attack off, and everyone else from UroPB just on the back foot, retreating to the tower as quickly as they can. They will survive, but it will not come for free, and maybe they're just surviving for now as Sand King, he's ready to wrap around. He's got a Soul Ring. That's a Soul Ring Sand King, ladies and gentlemen, to go with the Tranquil Boots. No Blink Dagger early on, but this very aggressive build will yield quite a few kills. They get Seema the Slayer down bottom. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Brewmaster and Moon kind of going at it, but the Brewmaster, hell, surprise, surprise, having some mana issues here. He's got a bottle and a magic wand, but not enough mana to use the Primal Split. We'll see the PA just racking up the farm here in the mid lane. Number one on the last hits, no one.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Power Treads Bracer, nothing too crazy, but just a good baseline of farm out of the gate. Faceless Void in the safe lane for MIP, kind of playing NiP, kind of playing that same role, both of the ones here, as Moon is just also racking up the free farm here. I'm not quite as strong as the PA. He has died once. That has set him back, of course, but look at this bold Faceless Void here. No points in backtrack, maxing out the Time Walk. I would say 1-1-3 or some sort of hybrid of that is kind of the common build these days. Seeing the maxed out Time Walk is a little bit different. Not bad, but we have seen that prioritization in Time Lock a lot more recently. Bottom lane, Art Style, instant trouble. Seema sets it up. The cavalry has arrived. They set it up. They take away his armor. RZ trying to give him the stapler, but Art Style just too tanky. Dubas comes in. Art Style lingers a bit longer, gets the ultimate off on the Venge, secures that kill. It will cost him his life, and they almost get the counter kill on the PA. They well may. Out comes the concussive. Dubas pressing forward, has the stun. And now the PA falls. Dubas, now he may have to pay with his life. And makes it a 2-for-2. A lot of rotations coming out, really from both teams. Levels it out a bit. Troll Warlord ends the dominating streak on the Sand King. So I guess he's, really the big breadwinner here, as he comes out ahead with quite a bit of gold. But still getting the kill on PA. Good news for NiP. Vengeful Spirit in the mid lane gets chronoed by Moon. He lives, and now it's the Viper that's in a bit of trouble. The Brewmaster in split form trying to dive him, but this Viper too tanky with 3 points in the corrosive. Now Art Style comes in. Brew goes back into Panda form. Seema swaps him, gets crit first hit, and Art Style just brings him down. So it is the Vengeful Spirit that falls after all. Moon sets it up with the Chrono. Kind of an awkward fight. Both teams seem pretty eager to skirmish, and that's where I look at NiP and say, hey, you've got a Viper. He's well on his way to a decently timed mech. Stopped off for tread, so that will delay the mech timing, but we're looking at like 14 minutes or so. Really good stuff there. And per usual with these early skirmishes, yeah, the mech will make a big difference. No mech construction started for UroPB. And also the Faceless Void going for this early fighting build. Grabs himself Power Treads, moves right into a Morbid Mask, and just a couple hundred gold away from finding that Mask of Madness. A lot of damage output there. And what's UroPB's plan for this kind of tail end of the laning stage, where they're not going to have these skirmish items? PA going kind of combative, rather tanky with strength, treads, and a bracer, so can skirmish a bit, but still not really in fighting shape. You just don't see any of these standard early skirmish items. Brew, how's he looking towards the blink? With the phase boots, he's only picked up 1 kill here, 9 minutes in, and 12 minutes, or pardon me, 12 minutes in, only level 9. At this point, you're kind of hoping your Brew's a little more active than this. Maybe has a blink dagger already, moving around, setting up kills, and so far the splits have been a little lackluster, maybe a little defense. I think there's only been 2, so the first one yielded a kill, and second one obviously not so successful with that little fight in the mid lane. So Brew's spending maybe a bit too much time moving around and not focusing on the farm in the early stage just to get that blink at a good timing. Thunderclaps up top and puts him 1 step closer. Viper, how's he looking on the mech? 300 gold away, having some trouble farming in the mid as UroPB has some rotations coming, but creeps come past the tower and won't be any problem for the Viper. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Dubas comes down onto the Troll, connects with a stun, channels an ultimate, almost brings down the Troll, but just doesn't have enough damage. Now no one comes in. He is sandstormed, forced to back out so he doesn't get echoed. Dubas, can he make the great escape here? Has a TP scroll, but no way to use it. They catch the vision. Sand King goes down. Meanwhile, on one of the side lanes, they catch the Brew. Looks like it was Vlad that set it up on the Skywrath. He's level 8 on this support. Has the Mystic Flare, an Ancient Seal Flare. Basically all you need to lock down the Brew, but hey, you've got a Chronosphere on top of it. So Yeah, no way he's going to survive that one. 1 for 1 across the lanes. Good exchange for NiP as they get a tower out of it. Their tier 1 in the bottom lane will get poked, but they'll have plenty of opportunity to come back and mount a defense. Meanwhile, mid lane, Immune, he's going to be the next target. Put to sleep, woken up straight away. Pause from the Brewmaster, as Viper does have the mech on the way via this courier here. Trapjaw the box bound. Zavis. I think Viper lives here. I'm almost positive. He's got maxed out Viper Strike, 1100 HP. They just don't have the damage. Immune will make it back to the tower where Skywrath is, gets the mech, uses it right away. Now they'll try to turn it around on the troll. Vlad does not have an ultimate for 15 seconds. No Mystic Flare to burst him down, but Dubas, he's here. 1600 gold towards the blink. Tranquil Boots on, looking for a 2-hero Burrow Strike. I'm not sure if he realizes how close he is, but Radiant, they see it. They've got an Observer Ward down, and now they'll start to converge. No one comes up to the high ground, finds the Sand King, connects with the Burrow Strike, and there'll be a little one-on-one action here in the jungle. PA, she's going to be forced to run. She's getting bullied by a Scorpion. This will make some space for some tier 1 tower push. Echo Stomp trying to slow him up. There is a Radiant Glyph. They will group up as 4. The only one not with him is the Troll, as he did have to go back to the well to take a little bath. Trolls get dirty in the field of skirmish. Here we go. Double damage on PA. Whoa! Crits down the Viper. 1 hit, 1 kill. 730. Big numbers with a double damage here at the 15-minute mark. Viper not quite ready for that one. You might have corrosive skin, but that ain't going to save you from the coup de grace of the Phantom Assassin. Art Style, he's gone ahead and picked up his Drums of Endurance, and whoa, talking about crits, PA! Critting him down in the bottom lane. You blink and you'll miss it, but Doom gets blown up, cut to smithereens, and nothing but a bunch of bloody chunks left on the ground. He'll even use a Doom on top of it. No one, not in any danger right now, at least not fear of death from the Doom. We'll just see out the duration and continue racking up the farm here in the safe lane. We'll see what the PA invests in next, but 2,400 gold already towards it. Meanwhile, top lane, smoke rotation. Glyph comes out on the tower. There's a Chrono here. Moon, can he catch 2? Yes, he can. Mystic Flare, a total whiff. Moon saying, what are you doing, Vlad? Now Vlad on the other side of the tower, not where he wants to be. They'll turn it around, and Skywrath takes a crit from the Brew, and now they will get this tower after all. Let's see what's going on in the middle lane. Tower goes down by the Viper. Immune looking to pursue once Arzeek. He's burned a Viper Strike on this, but can't persist for the kill. Sand King, though, maybe he can. Misses the Burrow Strike, and now it's Dubas on the run. He might get sandwiched here. No Blink Dagger, 100 gold short. Not the time you want to die. But no TP scroll, forced to use the Soul Ring. Gets chopped down by the Brew, trying to make the escape. Now back to the mid lane. Viper, he gets caught by the PA, and all of a sudden, no one. From bitch to bull, baby. This Phantom Assassin starting off a little bit slow, but now really hitting her stride. 3,200 gold all of a sudden. This is one of these games where I think this PA is going to be wise just to click right into a Battle Fury. You've already got these early combative builds. You're tanky. You can skirmish. You've got 5 kills, 1 assist. Just invest in the farming tool. PA starting to snowball, and this is when you want to use that momentum to ensure you have a farming tool to carry you through the mid game, well into the late game, and be that scary force to tango with the Void, despite him having a good bit of farm, a Chronosphere, and some follow-up damage to lock you down. Bottom lane, UroPB, they'll group up. 10 to 10 here at the 17-minute mark. They want to pressure this tower. Brewmaster blinks forward. Primal Split, blah, blah, right on top of Art Style. Met comes out from the Viper. Echo Stomp, a little natty order, making him a little bit squishier. But it looks like they won't have the damage to bring him down. Brew will just cyclone the Viper and start to make the retreat. Loses his Fire Panda. Earth Panda will be A-OK. And there you go. Panda comes right back onto the field. So they'll go into the tower. And again, the Primal Split, a little lackluster. Used as a farming tool here. They don't quite have the pushing prowess to knock this tower down easily. All it takes is a glyph from the Ninjas in Pajamas. And they will mount a successful defense here. Moon on the Void picks up the Maelstrom, so the 1 for the Dire. Still finding pretty good farm. Art Style now has a Blink Dagger on the Doom to go with his Drums of Endurance. Still sitting on brown boots. Not too common these days. I feel like Doom's one of those heroes. Can get away with pretty much any set of boots, and most Dooms do choose boots for the first item. Even just the phase boots. So good for chasing people down. Synergize as well with the movement speed burst you get from the Scorched Earth there. Tier 1 tower bottom lane. Now it's going the other way. UroPB standing to lose theirs. They pop the glyph and they get it back. Glyph it or ticket, and they will take heed to the advice. Let's go to the graph, just get a feel for how this game is going, and I think this is pretty accurate actually. NiP with a big lead and making a little trench as they kind of throw it away. About 1,000 gold in their favor. UroPB with a small experience edge. But coming up on the 20-minute mark here, we've got a damn even game on our hands. Both teams with very potent late-game carries. PA versus the Void there. Some good mid-game tempo controllers. They go in on the Brew, but he blinks back. The fast fingers of the Panda. Too elusive. Doom comes out onto Arzeek, but Artstyle puts himself in an awkward position to make it happen. Moon does have a chrono here, just looking for the right opening to use it. They catch Steam of the Slayer off to the side. Short range swap, not going to be enough to save him. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Troll gets stunned up. Moon uses that Mask of Madness, gets blown up by the Troll. Oh, it's a bloodbath, but now no one pressing forward. He wants some more kills. They'll find him on Artstyle. That's a 2 for 2. Now the Bro Strike, on to no one. PA in big trouble. Out comes the Epicenter. You might have evasion, but not going to save you from the wrath of the Sand King. They bring down the Sky Wrath, but it will cost PA her life. And it's a bloodbath in the mid lane. Now the buyback from the Doom. They'll go right back to fighting. Immune trying to square up against the Brewmaster will come out ahead, but now the Natty Order coming back in. The Echo Stomp so UroPB can sound the retreat. After all that, it is the Radiant side that will come out ahead. It is a 3 for 3, but the buyback on Doom just tips things in the Radiant's favor that little bit. Oh, maybe it's not over yet. Mech from Immune is used. That'll keep him alive, but Brewmaster reinitiating, looking for his options. Okay. These teams, I feel like these teams are very evenly matched here. Void also did not chrono in that fight. That was a little different from the Faceless Void. Popped the Mask of Madness. He just got blown up. The Troll just whirled axes and just hit him. I mean, that's really all it took. You're a Void like this where you have your agility treads on, you got no stats. You're damn squishy, and when you're talking about a 30% damage amp, eek. That could have been a totally different fight had Void gotten off a decent chrono and done things just a little bit different. Not really sure why Doom bought back also, but what are you going to do? I am scared of this PA, though. No one will not take heed to my advice, does not go for the Battle Fury. Instead, invest in the S&Y. Another great item here, though, with this big boost to farm, 20 minutes. Great timing to complete it after the drum power treads. Now, PA, pretty tanky, 1,600 HP on strength treads, and just gives you a little bit of everything. Good movement speed, very speedy hero. Well, he's smoked up right now, so kind of misleading, but very speedy with the drums and the Yasher. Down bottom. Whoa. Miss a pick onto the Doom, pardon me. Glancing at chat there momentarily. We'll see the bottom tier 1 tower go down. Troll Warlord secures that one, and Doom gets picked off here in the mid lane. So a couple of victories there for the Radiant side, and, well, that'll completely even things out. UroPB getting the momentum here as we move into this mid-game and break down the lanes a little bit. They'll go into the tier 1 mid lane. There's a glyph, and NiP, they won't use it. It's just a freebie. They could have bought themselves at least a couple of seconds, but okay, they'll just hand over the tier 1 tower. Now it will be our Radiant side to pull into the lead. Sand King, 1,000 gold past his Blink Dagger. Dubas, what are you farming up? I'm so interested to see a Soul Ring here on the Sand King. You just don't see that. It's worked pretty well for him, though. It's allowed him to be so aggressive. 8 kills in 22 minutes. Pretty solid. Radiant move into the Roshan, and there you go. Just look at how fast the big one dies. And that's a combination of things, but mostly I think the duo of Battle Trance and Wave of Terror. You got the big minus armor to take Roche low on the resistances, and, well, then you've got Troll who can just flash push him down for the team. The Battle Trance doing so much work. Smoke rotation from the Dire, headed down bottom. Artstyle trying to bait it out on the Doom. They'll fall for the bait, or will they? Invisible Panda reveals the smoke. The jig is up. They'll press forward. Doom comes out onto the Troll. They'll find Arzeek, and Moon blows a solo chrono just for the Elder Titan. hoping to catch the troll also, but just won't be able to do it. PA around the backside, solos down the Skywrath. Now Moon taking a lot of damage, gets caught by the Whirling Axes once more. Art Style takes a lot of damage, gets blown up again. Dubas with an ultimate, but it won't do too much. It expires before he gets into the main fight. The split from the Brew brings down the Viper. They lose their Troll Warlord, but it will be UroPB coming out swinging a 2-for-5 exchange. The Dire team, nothing but a puddle of blood after that fight, and a huge 2,500 net worth exchange going in favor of UroPB. Sort of an awkward, chaotic fight, but a lot of it, I think, is on the Void. Tunnel visioning a bit, hops forward. Sure, you get an early kill. It's not so bad, but just not worth it. The PA comes around the backside, just drops your Skywrath Mage before the fight even really gets going. Dubas can't find the good ultimate, and I feel like this Void just needs to be a little bit more patient. He's very eager to pop that Mask of Madness, go running in and just start going ham with his little hammer, but you gotta be a little more tactful than that. I think he needs to catch more than one in the Chrono as well, most notably that PA. Even though the Chrono doesn't disable evasion anymore without an Aghanim's, it's more about just locking down the PA, stopping her from killing your team while you're using your Chrono to pick up kills, I think, more than trying to kill the PA, at least until he gets an MKB. Void, not going to have it anytime soon. He invested in the early Maelstrom. Now it would appear he's going back for a BKB. I think the BKB warranted here. There are definitely some stuns, deal with the blinds, all that kind of stuff, but he needs an MKB this game. He's their big right clicker that will have to be able to square up against PA at some point this game. And without an MKB, there's just no way to do it and expect, or reasonably expect, to come out on top, I think, is how I would say it. Brewmaster now has BOTs and the Vladimir's offering, so some auras coming out. Whoa, down bottom. No one. Well, just playing with art style a little bit. Of course, as we're looking at that up top, we'll miss a kill from the Faceless Void. Comes out with a Chrono. Comes out swinging, just brings down the Elder Titan. So that time it looks like the Mask of Madness will work out just fine. So things will slow down a little bit, though. Just a couple of solo pickoffs here and there. Only 2 minutes left on the Aegis. Already been 3 since they took down the big one. I reckon UroPB will want to fight with this. Who's holding the Aegis right now? Is it the PA? Yes, it is. So PA will have a full BKB and just a couple hundred gold here, and I think that's what they're holding out for. Hoping the PA can get the BKBs and they can fight around Magic Immunity and having a second life, but I don't think the timelines are going to match up here. By the time the BKB gets delivered, PA's Aegis will basically be expired, or be expiring so soon that they won't really want to commit for a big push or a big team fight. So perhaps one thing UroPB could have done a little bit better. They will still go for it here, though. They'll have about a minute as PA pushes the bottom lane, BKB in transit via the courier, and they will start to make some rotations down towards that bottom tower. Moon on the Faceless Void gets scouted out. He'll pick up his Mithril Hammer, and it looks like NiP will mount a defense of sorts. Although, actually, I take that back. No Glyph, tower with 200 hit points. They will mount no defense of any sort. Ah, down it goes. Easy peasy. All right, great use of the Aegis there, boys. BKB delivered. Uh-oh, mid lane. BOT's right in on the Moon from the Panda. He'll blink forward. He does have a split. May want to use it. Chrono down for another 5 seconds. Does split this, but there's just no support inbound. Can Panda get these solo kills? Mech comes out from the Viper, and he will put the Void inside of a Cyclone. And yeah, it's another Brew ultimate wasted. Might get a couple of creep kills here from the Storm Panda, but that's it. Goes right back to Brewmaster form, and that's an ulti on cooldown here. He is level 16, so only a minute and a half it'll be stuck on cooldown, but not one of those ultis you really want to waste willy-nilly. Doom has his ultimate available here, thinking about a movement perhaps. Troll, you're in the danger zone, buddy, and Chrono on no one. Oh, boy, unless you count the Sand King, but hey, they're on the same team. Brew, he'll just TP out. Mystic Flare, it's going to miss as well. What's going on here, folks? PA mans up with the BKB, breaks down the Skywrath, gets a couple of quick crits, and will get doomed. Dubas throws out the ultimate, doesn't find any kills. He will live. Vengeful Spirit with some swaps, and looks like this PA will survive. Finds the kill on the Sand King, but Vengeful Spirit will get taken out for it. Hands over a big streak to the Viper. No one lives. And it is a 1-for-2 trade, of course, coming in favor of the Radiant side. What a weird fight. Two big skill shots just whiffed at the beginning. Void and Skywrath Mage just closing their eyes, throwing out the ultimates, and hoping for the best, I guess.
Double damage.
Weird. Well, seems for NiP it's a little bit of an execution issue here. The BKB PA really just destroying their team a little bit. I still think Battle Fury would have gone a long way for the PA, because now at this point you'd have a little more damage. Maybe you'd be a little more squishy, but PA is very tanky right now. That's not the issue. Having that farming tool. PA still #1 on net worth, so it is working out for her, but a lot of it's just because she's able to farm these heroes. 9, 3, and 6 at 28 minutes. That's a pretty happy PA. Down bottom, Panda maybe initiated on. Dubas blinks forward. No Burrow Strike. Will find him here. Misses the strike, and Primal Split's used. More strange usage of abilities here. Looks like Sand King, they're trying for it, but nope, he'll just blink back. Okay. There you go. That's a Brewmaster on cooldown. Well done, Sand King. Easy. Let's look at the graph, see how things are going here. Wow, Radiant side pulling ahead by about 7,500 gold, 10,000 experience. They've got a very sizable lead here. They've got some big carries also. At this rate, PA just so far ahead of the Void. I mentioned the MKB a necessity for Moon if he wants to be able to square up with the PA, and I stand by it. He'll have a BKB now. But God, so far away from the Monkey King bar. How is he going to farm it? I mean, he may be able to get it before this game ends. UroPB are not pushing too hard, but they will smoke in the mid lane. Yules comes out to set it up onto Art Style. Panda goes in, and whoa, down he goes. Doom just gets destroyed. Vlad goes down shortly after. Now Immune, not going to live up to his name here. Pops the mech and the Crimson Guard. Chrono comes out. Decent epicenter on top of him. Do they have the damage to secure the kills? They just simply don't. The Radiant side is too damn tanky. Now Brew initiates. They lose their Venge as well as their Troll, but they bring down the Viper. Moon, BKB on the run. He is the lone survivor. The PA able to pick off the Sand King before he joins the skirmish down here. Moon has one time walk. Use it wisely, sir. And he does. Makes it to the high ground. Parties with the Centaurs, but hey, they've got Blink Daggers. They chase him down. PA even gets a dagger crit for good measure. And it's another full 5-man wipe for the Dire side. A 2-for-5 trade. They even got a good combo that time. Sure, they did lose 2 heroes before the fight really broke out, but Void caught a lot in the Chrono. They stacked the epicenter on top of it. Fortunately, they didn't get to use their Doom. They didn't get to use their Mystic Flare, and 2 key abilities you can't afford to not use if you're in a position such as the Dire's predicament here in this match. They'll lose their tier 2 tower in the mid, adding a little insult to injury here. Now 10,000 gold, 14,000 experience. The Radiant side getting big. PA now with a plate mail, probably an Assault Cuirass, and we'll see what else is sitting on the courier here. No, just RZ grabbing his club. Elder Titan with his Yule Scepter doing some work, setting up that fight. And Panda looks like he'll have a BKB coming out very soon. And the Troll, I believe he just completed one, so magic immunity all around the block for UroPB. Even the Brewmaster, wow, magic immunity aplenty. I like it. That's 3 BKBs here. And PA will indeed be getting the Assault Cuirass. There's your Hyperstone. So PA tanking up a bit, getting the armor, and getting the attack speed. This is the scary thing for Void here is if he ever even gets an MKB at that point, it's like, great, now I'm cutting through your evasion, PA. At that point, this PA is going to have so much armor. It doesn't even matter. I feel like the Mask of Madness against Elder Titan, if you're Void, is a gamble. You know, just a little bit of the old coin flipperoo. As we've seen, the Mask of Madness has almost caused Void more deaths than it's gained him kills. There have been a couple of key times where he's gotten a Chrono down, found a solo pickoff, and used the Mask of Madness to much avail. But in these team fights, the Natural Order, I mean, he takes so much damage. You're in negative, you're like in negative armor, and then you're taking 30% damage on top of that. It's just disgusting. We saw it earlier how fast that Troll was able to take him down. And speaking of the Devil, Moon fighting down bottom will be forced to use that BKB to TP out. That's a 9-second BKB charge. just to survive the split push down from the bottom. In the mid, Brewmaster thinking about going forward, but there will be a defensive blink back, and Brew won't be able to find a kill. Instead, they look towards the Roshan here at the 33-minute mark, and oh man, I can't even cut cheese that fast. Look at that. Roche just melts. Minus armor plus battle trance equals dead Roche. Well, another Aegis of the Immortal goes the way of the Radiant and will end up in the inventory of the Phantom Assassin. I'm also not sure how I feel about this Viper going Crimson Guard. Kind of an odd game for it. Just not a very synergistic item on Viper in general, as we'll see displayed for us here. PA just hops in, crits him down. Void coming in. Where's the Chrono? He finds it on 2, but gets cycloned right away, and no damage will follow up. Literally 0. Art Style now gets destroyed off to the side. Dubas gets an ult on the Arzeek, but not enough for a kill. Doom will buy back, gets an ulti on to no one, and they will bring down the Sand King. Now no one coming right back in, has the Aegis, so not afraid to fall here. Never a good sign when you're forced to doom the Aegis carrier. Dire have already popped their glyph. No Fear comes back to life. Silence right away. Team support is there. Mystic Flare clips him, brings him down. Moon dies through the BKB. Vlad getting killed off to the side here by the Brew. Yep, gets the kill, but wow, they lose their troll in exchange. NiP still not able to come out ahead. It's a scrappy fight. They hold their tower just barely. They have to buy back on 2, the Viper and the Doom, but they do hold their base, and Doom, oh, you crazy bastard, he blinks forward right into the Venge, gets stunned, gets Echo Stomped, and now Brew just slapping him down with the flail. One more auto attack. Viper's there with the slow, so instead he says, hey, I'll just take your tower instead. Thanks, buddy. Viper gets thrown into the Yules, and Brew will make it out. Just barely blinks away as Dubas blinks forward. Art Style wants to reinitiate, but I'm not so sure about that. Arzeek puts him to sleep, tries to TP home. Burrow strike to interrupt it. Arzeek will be punished for his insolence. And NiP get a little pick-me-up there on the tail end of that exchange, but yeah, very minor pick-me-up after a very unfortunate team fight. They did get about 1,400 net worth out of it. Still, big boost for our Radiant side. Nearly 20,000 golden experience going in their favor. And at this point, they're just big and they're bad. They're hard to deal with, mostly because of these big ol' item pickups. PA still farming out of control, about 40–50% ahead of the Void. I mean, it's pretty starting. I know, way more than that. Almost, nearly doubling the Void, like 70% ahead. That's really scary. Feels like PA just picked up an Assault Cuirass, and already another 2,000 gold. Bottom lane, Dubas jumping onto the Brew, trying to get off the split, but look how tanky he is. They can't do anything. He's got the BKB on. Epicenter does next to nothing, still trying to split, but now gets doomed. They kill him, but it takes literally 3 ultimates just to kill the Brewmaster. Now what do? Brew says, fuck it, I'm going to buy back. I've got BOTs. I still have an ultimate. You guys have nothing. They don't even have a glyph. This will be a difficult fight to take. Without any big ultimates and a Brewmaster who still has a split, a PA still with a BKB. At the very least, one lane of barracks. Mid will fall. Now where do UroPB go from here? They're looking towards the bottom lane, and yeah, Brewmaster just goes right for it. Here we go. Dubas stun on 2. Doom comes in with a Shivas. BKB's used. Doom gets off the swap. Moon just gets destroyed. Now Immune, the next target. He's getting blown up as well. And down he goes. Doom stuck inside of a Yules. He'll come back down to planet Earth, much to his demise. They do lock down the Phantom Assassin, though. Her BKB expires. And the Mystic Flare enough to secure the kill there. PA does buy back. And this fight not over yet. Dubas coming back in, stuns up the Troll. He does get off some Whirling Axes. Echo Stomp sets it up. Dubas invisible for now, but taking a lot of damage. A dieback for the Void, and this could be the final fight of the game as NiP just moments away from getting completely wiped. Now a buyback on the Sand King. That'll be enough to keep the Skywrath alive. Another wildly successful fight for the Radiant. Dubas getting a little aggressive, blinks out onto the Brew, and does get repelled. They lose their Skywrath after all, and UroPB, they want to do this one in style. They'll go right for the win. Forget about the other lane of barracks. They know what they can do with the battle trance, and they will. Big stun from the Sand King, holding off as long as he can, but now he goes down. Mystic Flare, swap. It's a dead Skywrath, and it's like a 1 for 8. NiP burned through all their buybacks. They lose the game, and UroPB take a victory in our one and only game for Starladder EU today. Well, an interesting game. I think that's the appropriate word for it. Some skill shots used a bit willy-nilly, a bit wild. Chronos and Mystic Flares all over the place. Some interesting item choices. Void prioritizing the Maelstrom against a PA. Doom, well, he did okay with items, but Crimson Guard Viper against no Necro Books, 0 summons. Not sure about the Crimson Guard, but hey, to each his own. UroPB, they were the favorites, and they do take home the gold. So good news there. Starladder will continue for the next few days, folks. We've got all 4 regions running. The funky schedule will continue on a bit longer. We have one game of America coming up later today. I believe I've actually got my schedule up. Well, my browser crashed. So, okay, we can't see here, but I believe we have one game of America. What's going on? Oh, here we go. All right, never mind. My browser's good. It's just my computer. America, the 17th. What do we have? We have, oh, it looks like our game was canceled for America. Okay. We have no America today, folks. See, the schedule's still changing like crazy for this season of Starladder. So, all right, that's it. Thank you for joining us for EU coverage today, but a single game UroPB coming out ahead. I'm Zyori. If you enjoyed the solo cast, give me a follow on Twitter at ZyoriTV. It's in the title of this broadcast, and make sure you follow at Beyond the Summit to stay up to date with all things happening here in the studio and to follow our English Starladder coverage for this season. But until next time, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.